Hey there. Today, I kind of want to talk about energetic medicine and the vital force and how it relates to health. There's a couple of different excerpts that I want to read, and I'm going to be reading out of this book. So let's go. So let's talk about energetic medicine. Well, actually, let's talk about the vital force first. And the reason why I'm saying that is if you understand the vital force, you'll understand energetic medicine and how and why it works. I think right now in our world, we are almost so materialistic that we forget that energetic medicine can work. And I get it too. There's a lot of fake stuff out there. Um, but we need to base it in also a deeper understanding of what is life. What does life mean? What is being alive? How do we understand that? And then once we understand that, how do we communicate with it and start to interact with it in a healthy and dynamic way? So, with the vital force at the core of homeopathy and natural medicine, we believe in a concept of the vital force and that the human experience is a collaboration of physical and energetic phenomenon. While the body has a physiologic reaction and material presence, life is brought to it through a mechanism that modern science has not yet been able to identify. In homeopathic philosophy, we call this mechanism the vital force. This vital force has an unseen yet measurable intelligence which governs the material body. The vital force maintains a dynamic state of flux within the body with regard to both sensations and functions. It is measured in terms of well being and ability to adapt to the environment. In health, the human body is animated by the vital force and has the ability to adapt and change to its environment. Without the vital force, the material body is neither animated nor has the ability to adapt to the environment. Rather, it lies dead. In health, we experience oneness and connection to our lives and the universe. We are free from passions and addictions. We are free to become creative individuals. But in disease, our vital force becomes out of tune first. In time, the imbalance demonstrates itself in emotional reaction, altered perceptions, and rational thought, and eventually in the physical body. So, this is kind of interesting. I'm going to tie this into a societal thing right now. I think a lot of people think, I think people think that they are healthier protesting, that they are in a better state because they see it, right? And you have to leave it up to them to react. Now, I'm not saying that we should just accept injustice. We need to have defense mechanisms. Our body has a defense mechanism. Our body has boundaries too. That is part of health. Health and wellness is organized. Life is organized. This idea that we don't need boundaries is not, it's actually death. It's actually a death thought. And I'm going to explain. So try to live without skin. Even people will say, well, no human being can be illegal. Well, let's just look at one human being's body. Let's just say mine. Let's say I have a liver cell that migrates to the heart. Well, that, even though it has 100% of my DNA, it's my liver cell. It doesn't belong in the heart. And it's going to cause trouble and breakdown because it's not going to be able to assimilate or function like the heart cells do. So that is actually then disorganized. It's going to create a breakdown, going to create chaos. Chaos leads to destruction, and destruction leads to death. So I think this idea that we can have no boundaries is a very dangerous idea when it comes to life, living, and health. So, the second idea is energetic medicine. So, we have an explanation of disease with homeopathy. Modern medicine, in contrast, is focused on the biochemical aspects of the human system and fails to understand the dynamic nature of man or woman, his spirit, will, and personality within the environment. So, the mechanisms of homeopathy are not explained in physiological or mechanical terms. Homeopathy was developed before the time of microscopes, blood tests, and before germ theories were developed. Yet, when a remedy was given to a person with a disease according to the law of similars, and that basically means like cures like, healing ensues. And we can't claim that, but we have quantifiable data from our old textbooks. And they have a lot of case studies where they followed these individuals. It's a removal of symptoms with a quantifiable and qualitative energetic shift to a state of well being. So, this I've been sort of pondering what are the long-term effects of this almost like just pure materialistic philosophy or approach to life. And I think that we're actually seeing it play out right now. I think this is the level of destruction that has been done on our spirit. We may look normal still on the outside. We still, I mean, when I was younger, I would question what is health exactly because I felt very tired. I felt very not well as a teenager, and I would go to the doctor and they'd tell me I was healthy. And I remember one time I drove myself there. I had just turned 16. And I looked down and I remember, parents would be excited. The baby has 10 fingers and 10 toes and they've got hair. Or, they would be all excited and they'd be like, he was perfectly healthy. He's got all his parts and bits and pieces. But it really is also how you feel. It's not just what you have. It's not just what looks good. It's the inner peace, it's the inner sanctum inside of your body that contains your soul, and they go together. There's a meaning for all of this. You can't abandon the material just simply for the spirit, and you can't abandon the spirit simply for the material. So that's sort of my thought. It's just that health is doesn't have to be so reactive, that we can move through the ups and the downs that life brings, and it will bring them, and there's gonna be turbulence in every time, but just to back up and have a bigger picture. Figure out what is disturbing you, what is inside that's disturbing you, and let's figure it out. Let's see what we can do to help you feel better. I guess that's really just sort of it's more of a philosophical idea, but I think I just invite you to like let's have a conversation. What is health to you? Um, do you feel healthy? When do you feel have you ever felt healthy? Or did you feel like me when you were a kid where it was like, wow, like I'm functioning, I'm getting good grades, but I feel terrible. It wasn't until I was much, much later in life that I started feeling better when I actually got this is my own story, like when I actually got the right homeopathic for me. And then, everything I mean, it's still work, right? Like, life is still work. It doesn't ever become just, like, easy peasy. But, anyways, I'm curious to hear your story. I'm curious to hear what you think about all of this, what you see, and how you're experiencing it, and maybe I'll make a video in response to those responses too. Anyways, here's to health, and, yeah, I invite you just to leave a comment. Thanks, bye.